Good morning and good day to you. Thank you for stopping by Fantasy Talk, where today I'm going to do the Bridge 4 book tag created by Megan at Megan's Reading Revelations. Her channel will be linked down below. Go check it out. Don't worry, I'll wait. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Number 1 is based on Rock from Bridge 4. Name a book where food is a big theme or it is influenced in a big way by food. For this, I'm going to go with The Wheel of Time. It's not like Lord of the Rings where you're having like big feasts and like all the food is described and it's all luscious and delicious sounding. The Wheel of Time, food is more of a plot point, but the actual descriptions of foods are very unappetizing. Lots of peas. They're always getting this shitty food too, I guess because they're, on the lam and running around having to like place for their supper. Yeah, food, not really delicious in The Wheel of Time, but very important. All right, question 2 is based on Sigzil, who is a world singer. Basically, they go around and bring knowledge to other cultures about other places, and they consider themselves to be like the greatest of storytellers. So the question is, what is a book that features a very prominent storyteller? So I'm going to go with Prince and King of Thorns with Jorg Ankrath, who's the protagonist. It's kind of like Name of the Wind, where he's recounting his story to you, and he's really good at just weaving things together. Jorg himself is an awful person, but is very charismatic and funny, and so it's just really interesting how he makes you have to grapple with yourself and how you feel about him as being a protagonist while he is actually straight up evil. And I encourage anybody to read it who is looking for something darker or is really into grimdark. Number 3 is based on Renarin. He is basically a liability on the battlefield because he has these seizures, I think it is. So the question is, name a book that has a character that has to overcome a physical or mental. For this, I thought Kaladin from The Shadow of What Was Lost fit really well. So basically, Kaladin wakes up in a forest covered in blood and has no memory of who he is or how he got there, why he's covered in all this blood, and then he's told that he murdered this village of like 100 and something people. And what's really interesting is throughout the book, like, he's a really nice kid. He is honorable. You're just thinking the whole time, like, why would he be accused of doing this if he didn't really do it? I definitely recommend checking out The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's so good, and Kaladin is definitely my favorite character from that book. Number 4 is based on Lopen. The question is, name a character who is not afraid to try new things. I think I'm going to go with Ciri from Warbreaker because she is completely unafraid. Her culture is don't be ostentatious, don't stand out, don't do anything that is not reserved, because drawing attention to yourself is basically unholy, and she just doesn't care. She does whatever she wants to do that makes her happy, whether it makes her stand out or not. Definitely unafraid to try new things, and the situation that she lands herself in, her sister has been groomed her whole life to go marry this scary god king, and she gets swapped out last minute, and all of a sudden she has not been prepared for this at all. She just takes the bull by the horns. Love that character so much. I really respect her, and she's definitely not afraid to try new things. Alright, number 5 is based on Moash. I'm not going to make a whole video on this, but I did want to do like side note, and somebody's probably already made this point before, but Moash has this traumatic event in his past that makes him hate the Light Eyes. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, what's the difference between Moash and Kelsier? Is it not almost identical? Like, Moash is a slave, Kelsier was a slave. They both had their families have something terrible happen to them because of some noble or elite person or group. They both irrationally hate everyone from that group. I think the reason why Kelsier doesn't get as much shit is because we spend more time, or we spend actual time in his viewpoint, and also a lot of times when he's killing the nobles, like, they're just nameless nobles, like, oh, I went and killed 40 nobles. But Moash does like one thing, and because we know that character, we're like, oh, Moash is a piece of shit. And I've even said Moash is a piece of shit. I think he gets too much shit. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, the question is, name a character that is morally gray. For this, I'm going to choose Sand and Glokta from the First Law trilogy. Glokta is not consistently gray. Like, it's not everything he does is ambiguous. He's just like an EKG where he does this great thing, like very selfless, very human, and then just slams right back down in the gutter. And it's like, hey, we're going to torture this innocent person and get their confession. And I just really love that about him. And I love that a lot of times he doesn't even know why he does the things he does. But really, Sand and Glokta is the backbone of the First Law trilogy and is what really makes it worth reading. Number 6 is based on Teft, and he has something in his past that really haunts him from day to day. So the question is, name a character who has an event in their past that haunts them. For this, I'm going to go with Kvothe from The Name of the Wind. because when we meet him, he is in present day an innkeeper going by coat, and just seems like all the life is drained out of him. And then you realize when he starts telling a story that he was basically this figure of legend, this magician. As you dig into the story more, you see that he's done some things that still eat at him even today. I think that's why fans are just so desperate for that third book, because that's the question we all want to know is like, what king did he kill? Number 7 is based on Sylphrena. Name a non-human companion character that constantly offers advice. For this, I'm going to go with another Warbreaker character, actually, Nightblood, who is the sentient sword that wants to destroy evil. And he's always giving really good advice, like, hey, let's go destroy some evil. Or, hey, you want to destroy some evil today? Number 8 is based on Kaladin. Name a book that has a character that is more than what they appear. For this, I'm going to go with Karen Murphy from the Dresden Files. Karen Murphy is the head of the special paranormal unit in the Chicago Police Department, and she works with Harry Dresden to basically solve these supernatural crimes. You would probably underestimate her, but she is a complete badass, not only being able to like fight or being courageous, but she is just a like firecracker. Like, she's not going to back down. She's super tough, and she's just persistent. So I really like Karen Murphy, and I really am super hopeful that her actual role in the story continues to grow, because her and Dresden interacting is really my favorite thing in the Dresden Files so far. And I encourage everyone to check out the Dresden Files because it's just super fun. They're super snappy reads, and this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate Megan tagging me in this Bridge 4 book tag. I'd like to tag a few people to do this as well. Man Carrying Thing, Bookborn, and Zach from over at Middle Fantasy. I know you guys all like Stormlight Archive, so hey, if you want to do this tag, I'd really be interested to see what answers you guys come up with. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, hey, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and y'all have a great day. Appreciate y'all watching. See ya. Peace.